The Arcanist, scholar of the arcane arts, master of mana manipulation, erudite eradicator of evil. The Arcanist is, in my opinion, the most consistently great character in Sunderfolk. His best cards, which you get early, are extremely overtuned. He has incredible damage potential without too much effort, as well as immaculate board control. His greatest weaknesses are his low health pool and lack of innate healing, his passive, which limits his damage output slightly, and positioning, as he is often a little slower on his spend cards than other characters. These weaknesses are not severe, and in fact are easily overcome with a bit of planning. The Arcanist gets along with just about anyone in the party. Pyro loves him because Friendly Fire pairs excellently with Gravity Nexus, if you don't mind holding still instead of teleporting away. Bard helps Arcanist set up his Gravity Nexus spends. Arcanist also loves having a front line, so a tank like Berserker or Vanguard, and sometimes Rogue, can be good. He's less fond of the Ranger in duos, since someone typically has to be able to take hits, but they can both easily slot on a 4-player team. Because he is such a special boy, the Arcanist gets a free card, Mana Spring. In addition, you will want to take Stargate, Gravity Nexus, and Thunderclap, with Storm Chain as a possible flex. Mana Spring builds your mana rapidly, Gravity Nexus is your best attack, Stargate lets you move things where they need to be, and Thunderclap lets you do a bit of damage and a bit of manipulation without doing basically nothing on your turn the way Mana Spring forces you to. For Trinkets, Wolf Charm can be a strong pickup in conjunction with Gravity Nexus. Lava Rock Baubles can be good for your damage spend. Dinglehopper gets a lot of value too. Finally, Tangleroot can be great in conjunction with Thunderclap to root your enemies. Early game, you'll want to visit the Oracle, the Arcanist's friend Kazira, and get some fate cards from her. They're typically going to be better than the standard ones you have access to. Add anything with bonuses, and absolutely no negative 2s. You want to be consistent, and you can't be consistent with negative 2s. Every turn, your first thought should be, can I Stargate someone into a pit? If the answer is yes, think then, can I get away with Thunderclap's push doing it instead? Otherwise, use Mana Spring to gather mana for Gravity Nexus, which is the best AoE attack in the game. Ideally, you'll want to be using Gravity Nexus every 2 to 3 turns, even if it's not hitting more than 2 or so enemies. You can also help allies reposition with Stargate and Thunderclap. If you know the map has no pits, sometimes it still helps to bring Stargate for ally manipulation. The Ogre Queen wants to run at you and get in your face. Thunderclap's push 3 often means she misses a turn of damage, so don't be afraid to use that, especially if it can get her onto a lava tile. Drop the Tangleroot behind her before the push for best results. Do your best to take one turn to use Mana Spring. Even one Gravity Nexus can go a long way toward removing her minions and putting her in a bad position. Although, careful about pulling her too close to allies. In Act 2, your skill cards remain largely the same as Act 1, although now you have an extra card slot. You'll fill it with Aetherize, which is the best single target damage card in the whole game until Act 3, and even then, it's only possibly the second best. Don't bother with the mirror cards. They can be fun in a casual run, but the spend on Mirror Shatter is too high, and Mirror Image is way too low tempo for Shadowstone. Chaos Beam is a silly and very fun card, but as a line shot, it's not very reliable. And again, are you really going to spend 5 mana on that instead of Gravity Nexus? For Trinkets, Lava Rock Statue is your best bet. You'll probably want to take 2 of them to pump up your Gravity Nexus spends, if there's enough Lava Rock to go around the party. A healing trinket, especially the Toothpick plant gifted by Anissa, can be pretty handy still. Volcanic Shell in the Lava Rock Import store is another good potential pickup if you don't want your first round gathering mana to be completely devoid of dealing damage. Wolf Charm is still decent for that route, but at this point, there are better options. I've never played around with them, but maybe you can cook something fun with the Ooze Nucleus, turning Oozelings allied. Chidness Rattle feels like less useful Volcanic Shell, but hey, maybe you really want to see the bad guys hitting each other. The Arcanist is not weapon dependent to function, so you can typically take anything lying around the smithy and call it a day. The gold standard of Act 2 is Horde Heart, haha, and you are a pretty decent wielder of it. Starting weapons like Shriek Sting and Verge Dancer can also be perfectly adequate. For your Fate deck, no -2s is still the golden rule. Any mana-related Fate cards are great. Extra movement can be handy, although Strengthen is probably still better for you. Free decoys can come in very handy, sometimes saving you from very critical damage. You have all your power cards now. Generate mana and slam the enemy. Mana Spring turn 1 as often as you can get away with it. Gravity Nexus is more accessible than ever and still the best AoE in the game. You can sometimes get 2 in a row off if you plan your mana gain well enough. It can be extremely worthwhile to buff it with 2 Lava Rock Totems and annihilate 3 or more enemies with 14 base damage. Even if it doesn't kill them, your allies will have an easy time mopping them up. Stargate and Thunderclap remain your cleanup cards. Any enemy that can be yeeted into a pit should be. Your ultimate's incredible too, particularly because you don't spend mana for it. Stun is the best CC in the game, and Confuse is definitely not bad. When it comes to the Prophet, don't fix what isn't broken. Spend your first turn on Mana Spring to build some mana for your better payoffs next turn. If you have to Gravity Nexus a couple exploding fungi to get the Prophet and maybe the molds, you will survive, don't worry. Focus fire on the Prophet as much as possible.
Give up, guns. The shadow will swallow you whole.
In Act 3, your skill cards are largely the same as before, except now you get to add Storm Chain permanently to your hand. For Trinkets, you have now unlocked access to Oozewax Chandelier, the best item in the game, and you are its second best user. Take one of these and 1 Lava Rock Opus. Toothpick Plant is still good, but you don't need to heal if you kill everyone. Also, Venom Mind Hourglass can be handy, although typically only against bosses. Again, the Arcanist doesn't need a weapon to function, but if you want to shore up one of his weaknesses, Starweaver, the unique companion weapon from Romancing Batu, is a phenomenal way to get where you need to be before a big Gravity Nexus or Aetherize. Pride Saver, the unique companion weapon from Romancing Zuri, is also phenomenal, but you're probably not going to have it. Not only because the Ranger needs it way more than you, but because I've never actually had the ability to romance Zuri in a run. If you've had better luck, post your secret tech below. Beyond those two, Marrow Gem and Spore Scion are excellent for a bit of healing across the team, and even if your economy has maxed out, Horde Heart can still remove slime tiles for you. Your Fate deck remains largely the same as Act 2, although now it's bolstered by another mana damage card and a +3. Make sure you're running 4 blues, 5 blacks, and 2 reds to increase the likeliness of pulling a not red as much as possible. In Act 3, your typical turn 1 is Mana Spring, Teleport, activate Oozewax Chandelier, and summon the oozes, gain 9 mana, and walk to a safe location. Otherwise, the strategy is largely the same. Gravity Nexus groups. Stargate enemies into pits if they're around, except Revenants, who like to jump back out. And Aetherize the big bads, like Revenants. Against the Ogre Queen and Prophet, do your usual opener, and let the Oozes and your beefier teammates eat some hits for you. You're going for either a big Gravity Nexus spend on both the Ogre Queen and the Prophet, or a big Aetherize. Try to focus the Ogre Queen first, as she's more accessible to your team. But if your team's just that good and they kill her before you get the chance, you'll have a juicy Aetherize on the Prophet. Largely ignore the minions. Unless they're going to die from AoE or a push, it's basically never worth wasting an attack on them. For the Lich, Gravity Nexus doesn't work on the extractors, so your primary job is to Aetherize the Lich directly. Still use Oozewax Chandelier to summon a bunch of extra bodies. Sometimes they'll kill extractors for you. Lightning Chain can be a backup for killing the last extractor and damaging the Lich simultaneously. Your Shadow uses Gravity Nexus. That's right. Bear's Shadow does his ultimate, Roar. The Bard's Shadow corrupts all allies to attack each other, and your Shadow Gravity Nexuses, because it's that strong of an ability. And because the devs probably didn't want him using a Starfall and stunning enemies. That said, it's one of the less scary options as far as the Shadows go, so you can probably take your turn without too much worry. Really don't bother trying to kill the Shadows, though. You're here for the Lich. And that's my guide to Arcanist. If you have any questions or thoughts you'd like to share, I'm always happy to chat in the comments below. My next guide will be on the Bard. Until then, I'll see you out in the Sunderlands.